Best podcast in the game. Impulsive has nothing on Slinging the Biscuit.
Who?
Impulsive.
I like Impulsive. There's a lot of podcasts I've been into lately. I love the Joe Rogan podcast. That's a hot take.
Those are funny.
Little bit long. I can't listen to a 3-hour podcast 7 days a week, but I try to listen to as many as I can. Spit and Chicklets has gotten good again in the last 2-3 months. I feel like they went through a year, maybe a 2-year period where it's just I just feel like it's forced. It's not authentic. I feel like lately it's been really, really good. What else? Full Send podcast, really, really, really good. The Nelk Boys.
Oh yeah.
The podcast I've been into. Michael Bisping, the Believe You Me podcast. That's a great podcast as well. He's a UFC champion. He's only got one eye. Really, really good podcast. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
What other podcasts have I been into? I think that's about it. I just, me and Pat talk about this all the time. I have a very hard time stomaching hockey podcasts that are retired guys that are just trying to be a bunch of beauties. They're telling stories about we used to just drink till the cows come home. We used to bang hookers. We get to score these drugs. We used to play that doesn't resonate with me. I don't relate to that kind of, I feel like the world in general and social media and just content production is lacking authenticity. There's nobody's being themselves. And I crave that when I try to find podcasts or any of that kind of stuff that I consume personally. So
yeah,
it's tough to find.
In the same way, I can't watch Spit and Chicklets. I don't know why. It just doesn't interest me. Yeah.
I find with your and Pat Shade's podcast, it's short. You get right to the chase. You get everything talking about, and then it's just done. It's perfect.
I'd love to go 2-3 hour podcast and just shoot the shit about everything in the world because as you can tell, I can talk about anything for a long time.
Oh yeah. Big talker, obviously.
Yeah, but people don't have time, right? People don't have 3 hours to listen to your podcast. At 40 to 45 minutes, people can bury it in a car ride to the rink or there and back or to work or on a road trip and that kind of stuff. I don't know. We just like to talk about life, things going on. Pat's an interesting individual. He's a creep.
Oh, he definitely is.
Yeah. There's stories I won't tell, but.
Yeah, he's definitely interesting as you can tell from his vlogs as well.
He's got personality. That's for sure.
Yeah. He's a character.
Yes, sir.
It's like if you take NHL 94 and make him as a beer pro. That's his character.
Stiff.
Yeah.
Completely stunned, but a beauty.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Pat Shea.
Yeah.
Half an hour already. Holy.
You guys got anything else?
I mean, we covered.
How long do you have?
The game starts in a couple minutes, but.
We'll go to say 40.
Okay. What else you got?
Yeah.
I was going 30% battery on this laptop, so whatever you got left.
The Prince George Cougars tryout. What was that back in the day?
I don't know if I ever told this story on YouTube. So I finished midget AAA, and I'm at technical college, the culinary school I'm going to, and the apprenticeship advisor, he says, "Oh, I noticed you're wearing your AAA hockey hoodie. You play AAA?" I said, "Yeah, I play for the Winnipeg Hawks." And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm the head prairie scout for the Portland Winterhawks in the Western League." I'm like, "No way." And he's like, "Maybe we can get you an invite to camp because I've seen you play a couple times." And, I think more so he got to know me on a personal level. I was like, "Oh, maybe Trav's a good guy, so we'll invite him out." He's like, "Well, we're full on goalies, but here's a sheet for contact info for everybody in the Western League. Don't tell anybody I gave it to you." So I said, "Okay, thanks." So I emailed every team, every GM, every coach, you name it in the Western League. And I probably heard back from 20% of them. The other 20% or the other 80% were just like, don't bother us. And I ended up hearing back from this one scout from Prince George named Kirk McCuspy. He's from Winnipeg. And he actually ended up coaching the midget Winnipeg Hawks the year before I was there, which is kind of interesting. And ended up meeting him for coffee a couple times with my mom and him, and then actually one of my high school best friend, his dad used to actually be the scout for Prince George, which is kind of funny. So he came too. So he's like, I used to scout in the early 2000s. It's kind of an interesting story. And so he's like, we'll get you an invite to camp. So he invites me to camp, at a main camp, and then I get an email like beginning of August, end of July, from the president of the Prince George Cougars. He's like, you know what? We're actually full on our camp, and we don't want to screw around. We're not going to be inviting you. We're going to be rescinding our offer for the camp invite. I'm like, what the fuck? Why? So then I ended up calling Kirk. I ended up make a bunch of phone calls, and I'm just like, come on, give me an opportunity. And so they ended up giving me the opportunity, like, okay, come on down to camp. It's on your own dime. It doesn't really hurt. And I went there, and at the time, I mean, you want to think like you belong somewhere, that you're decent. But, thinking back now, I think about my performance and the level, and just like I didn't have it figured out, and I had no business being there. I just lacked mentorship. I lacked mentorship in like an honest way of like people who have actually played the game, that understand the game, and kind of show me how hockey works, like really how the intricacy of like the hockey world works, which I've been lucky enough to get through like doing YouTube and stuff and reaching out and networking with people, but I didn't have it at that time. And I remember we finished like a Sunday inter-squad game, and the equipment guy comes in and he's like, hey, president wants to speak with so-and-so, and it was like me and like 4 other guys. And obviously I knew I was going home. There's no way I'm staying. Calls me in the office, and it's just like, basically he's like, you suck. He's like, you're not athletic, you can't move, you lack hockey IQ, you this, you that, you other, we're sending you home. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I disagree, but that's your opinion. He's trying to give me feedback that kind of contradicted the goalie coach. I don't know, it was an eye-opening experience for all the positives, but also all the negatives. I really wish I would have known then what I knew now, because I like to think I would have made the team if I would have done that, because I was coming in as a walk-on. I played AAA the year before, had a really good year at AAA, but shit the bed at their camp. And then I dropped down to Junior A, and just guys with resumes, guys that are signed, guys that are drafted. You're not going to beat those guys out when they're already signed. Yeah, that was basically that.
Yeah.
Do you think Butt Ends will ever give you your own Trav spec knob?
We tried doing the cut it and apply it yourself grip. That ended up being a nightmare, just because like people can't read instructions. Funny enough.
Yep.
So we were just maybe we got to do like a custom grip, and like the $1,000. So I don't think that's ever gonna happen. Transpect Pro laces, though, they're selling hot these days. They're really, really hot. A lot of guys are. Nothing makes my day more than when I get a message from a guy who's like playing like pro in the ECHL, or like like legit goalies, and they're like, "Tell me about these laces. I want to try them." I'm like, "Dude, we'll get you taken care of. Don't worry."
Yeah, I think we wrapped it up there.
That's good.
You want to do yes or no?
Yeah, perfect. All right, well, Trav, absolute beauty. Thanks for coming on. An honor speaking to you, and
for sure.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching, and make sure you tune in for episode 4. And thanks.
Also check out Trav on YouTube, Instagram, all that.
Let's go.